The concert, Songs and Stories of Transformations, is by blind women's voices from around the world. They are the first women's all-blind orchestra, and the voices range from Iran to the UK, giving insight into their extraordinary lives through stories and music. Well, Linda Shanson is the producer. We also have Fereshteh Khousrojerdy, who is a singer, and Abby Baker, who is a violin player. And they will all be performing for us in a few moments' time. But first of all, ladies, welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
And is Joycey, has she been taken out? I think she has.
She has.
She will steal the show.
Yes. She was stealing, this is the assistant's dog that was in here, and she was so excited. Her tail was wagging. She thought, I'm now going to be allowed to stay, but unfortunately, no. She's going to be taken out because she'll upstage us all. So, ladies, tell me about when you all met. Who's going to kick off? When did you all meet each other?
I think we met was it about 2010 we first met, Fereshteh? I can't remember now.
Yes,
I think it was, wasn't
I
it?
think so, yes.
Because we were preparing for a gig at the Shaftesbury Tavern at the time, and that was kind of the first Innovision outing that I was involved in, and it's kind of progressed from there, really, and it's all just really exciting.
And Abby, who's speaking, you're the violin player.
Yes, I am.
And tell me a little bit about your the history with you and your violin.
Right, so it's rather special because I'm half Welsh. This is radio, so you won't be able to see that I'm currently wearing a T-shirt with a Welsh flag all over the front of it. Reason being is that my Welshness is very special to me, and my grandpa on my mother's side was also Welsh, and it's because of him that I ended up playing the violin, because he left me his violin in his will as a child. I was 7 years old, and
Joyce is kicking off. She's going, let me back in.
And although this instrument here isn't the one he gave me, it's because of him that I play still, and it's got a very, very special place in my heart. So I am just eternally grateful for him for leaving me that special gift.
What a wonderful legacy as well.
Absolutely.
And how long have you been playing for? Since a child, then?
I started playing the violin. I actually started playing the piano first when I was 5, but the violin came later. I was about 8 when I started to play that, and then I started clarinet as well. So 3 instruments.
Wow, gosh, very talented. Fereshteh, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
I am originally from Iran, and I came in this country in 2007.
And do you mind telling me a little bit about that?
Yes. I don't want to make your listeners sad, but my story is a little bit sad because I was born in a very religious family, and they never loved the girls, specifically the disabled, because they believed when you got a disabled child, it means you are a sinner, and this is the kind of God's punishment. Oh. So they never loved me. And
you were never encouraged to sing either, were you?
No, they never let me to sing. But when you become blind, and unfortunately the most favorite would be poems and music. So, as I mentioned, my parents were very religious, and they didn't let me to sing. But I always go to the street and ask people, excuse me, listen to me. I have a beautiful voice. Do you want to listen? And people give me a hug and say, yes, you are. Your voice is full of feel. Yes, you are amazing. But my parents treated me very bad. And they said that the prostituted ladies are singing to find a man.
Really?
I said, no, this is not true. I love music. Music is part of me.
And you're doing it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you were singing in Iran, what songs were you singing?
Different songs, actually. classic, modern, pop.
Oh, well, I was going to ask. I mean, for a start, you weren't allowed to sing, but also singing a pop song would have been doubly bad.
Yeah, they didn't let us. It's forbidden, still forbidden for ladies to sing in the public places. But I remember when I was student, and I asked the other students, please look, I can sing for you. Let's go and be quiet. I'm going to sing for you. So I perform for them, and I perform for the family, and I didn't mind, even though when my parents treated me when they didn't like it. And the best way was the boarding school in capital of Iran, and they let us to perform, do whatever we love, and I learned to to sing, to be part of the choir. And I remember they tried to make a song for me and ask me to sing independent.
Wow.
And I remembered when I was very scared, and when I discussed to my parents, sorry, excuse me, imagine if one day you hear my voice in radio, what would be your reaction? And my brother said, I would got a container of petrol and put it in all of you and make a big fire of you.
Gosh. I mean, growing up, it's just we're listening to you talking of what contributed to your life as a young woman, and then to come over here and experience liberation and being able to sing whatever and whenever you wanted must have just felt wonderful, didn't it?
I love it, yes. And I'm trying to, be the other women's voice,
For the women left behind.
Yes, even though, I mentioned to the guys before we came in the studio, I said, this is the 21st century, but you can see in some countries there is a lot of women have been abused, but can you imagine there is an invisible group of women which are the disabled women?
Yes.
And you can imagine the situation is worse.
That's why it's such an honour to have you here to highlight this situation and this group of women as well. And Linda Shanson, you're the producer. You've been sitting listening to this. Both you and I just, it's...
It doesn't matter how often I hear her story. It just moves me so much.
I hate asking, but we must now listen to the music and the performance. Otherwise, because
you'll love that.
I know,
music.
And I think it's so important that we know a little bit of the background behind this. And then, if we have time, Linda, we may be able to speak more to you. But what is it we're going to hear this afternoon?
Well, you're going to hear the marvellous Abby Baker, who can speak for herself. She will tell you.
Okay, so I am going to play a Welsh folk tune called Tom Jones. I actually found this just a few weeks ago, and I realised the day after I found it that it's got rather a special thing, because the piece is called Tom Jones. My grandpa was called Thomas John. So here we go.
Wonderful. Thank you, Abby.
Okay.
Abby Baker. Do you know what I love? Is it sounded like there were 3 violins playing and there's only one. That's what's so clever. One little pair of hands creating that beautiful music. That was Tom Jones.
Yes, it was.
Tom Jones. Thank you, Abby. That was beautiful. Now, Fereshteh, will you be singing for us?
If you want, I can.
We would love you to.
Do you want me to sing a Persian song?
I think that would be lovely. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's very famous song from the very old singer called Wigan. He passed away a few years ago, and Iranian people know that song very well. پس از این زاری نکن، طلب یاری نکن، تو ای ناکام دل دیوانه به مزار سینم به غم دیرینه ام به خواب آرام دل دیوانه با تو رفتم بی تو باز آمدم از سر کوی او دل دیوانه پنهان کردم در خاکستر غم آن همه آرزو دل دیوانه چه بگویم با من ای دل چه ها کردی تو مرا با عشق او آشنا کردی پس از این زاری نکن طلب یاری نکن تو ای ناکام دل دیوانه به مزار سینم به غم دیرینم به خواب آرام دل دیوانه با تو رفتم بی تو باز آمدم از سر کوی او دل دیوانه پنهان کردم در خاکستر غم آن همه آرزو دل دیوانه.
Oh, just so beautiful, so pure, absolutely beautiful. Fereshteh Khousrojerdy. You could just feel London standing still, can't you? You just think, I wonder where everyone is when they're listening to this, because people will be driving, people will be walking, heading home on the school run, whatever. It's just beautiful to hear something like that. That just makes you stop. Beautiful, thank you. May I just ask you, Linda, because you're the producer, Linda Shanson, is it you that's brought everyone together?
Well, actually, it's my husband, Balaji Srivastav, whose dream it was to form an orchestra of other blind people, to give them a platform, because on his own journey through music, and he's played with a lot of famous people, he found it very, very difficult, not because of his music, but because of his blindness. And he wanted to encourage other people like him to have opportunities and a platform, basically. And so he formed the Inner Vision Orchestra, which is the UK's only blind orchestra. We've got a whole series of events coming up, 2020 Inner Vision. And our first event is this wonderful event as part of Women's Week. So that's why we are doing what we're doing.
I've never heard of you before. Isn't that shocking? But I'm certainly going to be seeking you out.
Thank you.
So your husband's, it was the Inner Vision Orchestra. Does he still play for them?
Yes, it's part of a foundation we've started called the Baluji Music Foundation. His name is Baluji Srivastav, and he was awarded an OBE for his work in music and for setting up this orchestra.
Wow. You should feel very proud. If you would like to see this performance, if you'd like to see the songs and stories of transformations by the blind women's voices from all around the world, they are going to be performing on the 16th of March at Rich Mix in East London, at Rich Mix on the 16th of March. Is that a Friday or a Saturday, is it? I'm not really sure.
A Monday. It's a Monday.
Meanwhile, can I thank you? What a wonderful way to end my show. And can I also say that I think Josie, the assistant's dog, is on holiday at the moment. Is that right?
Bruce, my dog.
Oh, Bruce, your dog.
Yeah.
All right, so Josie's here. I thought you meant that's why she's in holiday mood.
No.
So Bruce, your dog, is on holiday.
Yeah.
Hi, Bruce.
Where is he?
Yeah, my friend took him to the Portsmouth. Portsmouth.
It's good for them to have holidays, isn't it? They work hard, these dogs.
Because my friends called him a ladies' man.
Well, I'd love to know what he's getting up to in Portsmouth. Can I thank you so much? That's Fereshteh, Khousrojerdy, also Abby Baker and Linda Shanson. Thank you for ending our show so beautifully. And if you'd like to go and experience the whole performance, 16th of March at Rich Mix.